Right, this is the soldering demo. Right, I'm going to hand out the bits, but I'm going to talk you through each component first, so we know which way round they go. So who's taking part? You're taking part. Oh, this was a demo one. That's one for you.
Thank you.
One for you. Kevin. Brian.
Thank you.
New fella. What's your name anyway? Here we go. Callum. Your name?
Shiv.
Shiv. Right. Right. Here we go. And there's
Thank you very
right.
much.
So, if you open your little kits, we'll have a quick talk to the stuff before we start soldering. Yes. First, open your kit. That's the difficult bit. Right. What you first see is the printed circuit board. It's usually a glass fibre board. You want another one? There we go. There we go. One more. You do have a couple more if people need it later. You may have to share a soldering iron. Right. They're basically fiberglass with one or two or many other copper layers in it. This particular is a single-sided board with a silk screen on the front, which has the little pictures of the components, which you'll probably make very good use of. On the back, you'll see the tracks underneath what is called the solder resist. Often the pins will also be plated. Sometimes there's also plating through hole if there's tracks on both sides, so when you connect on one side, it automatically connects the other side. Right. Take out, say, this little silver component here. This is a small electric microphone. You'll notice the pins are off to one side. That'll help you locate which way round it is on the board in a moment. The little black cylinders are capacitors. These particular capacitors are electrolytic capacitors. You can tell that mainly because there's a little minus on the one side. Let's get a zoom shaky cam there. There's a minus. There we go.
Pass me the spare set because I can do some close-ups.
Well, you'll have a set anyway. So
No, because you're going to solder some of those in.
Here we go. Here we go. Right. So yeah, there's a little cylinder, and
So I'll do the close-ups.
yeah,
Don't worry.
there'll be a minus on one side. That obviously goes to the minus negative rail. Sometimes they label the positive, sometimes they label the negative. Small ones like this are resistors. There's coloured bands on them that'll tell you the colour, the ohm rating. This one, for some reason, was a leg trimmed down, so I don't know why. It's brand new and out of the box.
The colour coding of the resistors is on the colour pictures.
We can pass that around, yes. So, this is an LED. You won't be able to see it on the camera here. But if you look very carefully inside one, you'll see there's a small bit and a large anvil shape. The anvil shape is the cathode. That goes to the negative. Sometimes the short leg, sometimes there'll be a flat on the side skirt of the diode. There's the symbol for it there, the anode, cathode, diode symbol. The arrows signify light coming out. You can get light sensitive diodes where the light arrows are coming in, which will switch on with light. It kind of makes sense. And the last couple of main things, there
Sorry,
is.
I don't have one of those
Oh yes, there are.
3-pin.
3-pin devices. Actually, I don't have any 3-pin. No, there is. There's one there, right? You can have mine if you can't find. There it is, 3-pin one. There it is.
Oh, that? Oh,
Yes,
it
that's
doesn't
it.
look like
Yeah,
that.
right. Yes. So, right, where's next? Yes, the 3-pin thing is those are transistors. There's a little diagram of Steve's. We'll show you which way around to put that on. It's based on an electronic switch. At least that's how we're using it in this situation. There is also a chip socket. You don't always need these, but they mean you can take the chip in and out. It also means when you're making your board, you're not overheating what is usually the most sensitive thing on the board, which will be the chip in this question. You will notice, even though it doesn't matter which way up it is, the chip socket has a little divot missing out the top. There'll be one with a tiny little C shape missing out of it. It won't matter as long as you get the chip in the right way around, but it does mean it tells you which way around the chip holder is and thus which way to put the chip. With chips, and I'll go around showing you this individually as well if you like. You'll notice all chips will either have a divot in it or a spot. This is a divot and a spot on one end. That tells you which is the pin 1. so which way up it goes round. I will come round and show you individually as well, once we've got the actual soldering started. Right. So with soldering, you normally start with, there's two ways of starting. With the least sensitive components first, so they get heated up less, or with the flattest components, so it's easy to put the board down and manipulate the board. So we'll probably do the resistors first, because they're easy to lay down, and they're also the least sensitive. We'll probably then move on to the capacitors, because they're the least sticky up and least sensitive. And then probably the transistor, because that's kind of easier to get to. We will do the chip last. I can't actually do the chip because it's only a chip holder, it doesn't matter so much about this. And then the diodes we'll probably leave last because they'll just get in the way otherwise.
Speaker.
Right.
The microphone.
Can you hear us? Oh yes,
No.
the microphone any time you like, really. Right, so how to solder. Let us start with a resistor. Now if you look at the diagram, zoom in a little bit here. Will that actually show? Yes, it will actually show. Jolly good. Brainy gear. There we go.
Or at the big diagram.
Yeah, if you see the big diagram, the resistors are basically the square bits. Here's a resistor here. It's a square bit. That's the transistor. Let me put it there. That's the microphone. That's the capacitor. And the ones like we've shown with the arrows, it's all a bit delayed. There we go. Are those the LEDs? The chip is the big square. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with one of the rectangles. They'll be on the board with an R number next to them. There'll be two numbers. One is the value. One is an R. That's because resistors generally R, capacitors will be C, integrated circuits might be IC, transistors might be Q, diodes will be D. It kind of makes sense. So if we look here, if we pick one, let's go for that R2 2M. That is 2 meg. Right.
Alex,
Yes.
it doesn't matter which way around you matter.
Not with the resistors. The capacitors will matter, the diodes will matter, and the chip will matter, and the transistor will matter. Basically, yeah, it's about the sometimes capacitors. So there is a colour sheet. Yeah.
Good question. What temperature do they set soldering irons to?
350, I suppose. It's depends how quick you want to solder. What's it? What's everyone set to?
So you're looking for the R2.
Right. So
Yellow, black,
So-
blue, yellow.
how you actually find out the value of the resistors is there's a colour code. Can I borrow that sheet for a moment, Ursula? No, any of the sheets will do. I'll just have to translate the poor colours.
Have we got?
Ooh, what paper with me, right?
Did you had a,
No, I think it went over there. Right.
So
hang on, I'll,
Where's my pen?
hang on. Oh no, it's not.
is that
Right.
sheet?
My computer.
So is that yellow or black the first, or green?
Right. I'm just writing something down. Give me a moment. Right.
The colours are wrong on that sheet. Ignore the colours on that sheet.
So.
The colours should be black, brown. In the bottom row, the colours should be black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, grey, white.
Right. B B R Y R O Y G B V G W.
Red,
There is an acronym to remember that, but the only one of them I can remember is RUDE, so I'm not telling you.
red, black, blue, green.
So for the R2, you're looking for the red, black.
Right. Bit about resistors before we move on. See, that's why I don't hand out the kits first, you see. Now,
But you did.
yeah, well, I'll have to show them the components. There will be a band on the resistors. Right. And there'll be different coloured bands. There may be 3 or 4, but there'll be one further away from the other ones. Nobody's looking.
No.
So Paul's just got- right, so here we go. So you've got a resistor here. You're looking at a resistor. There'll be 3, maybe 4 bands, and then a slightly further away band.
Yes.
That further away band you don't need to worry about at the moment. That's the tolerance of the components, whether it's a 1%, 10%, 5%. So that at least,
Silver or gold.
yeah, silver got or brown if it's a really good one.
These
But-
ones are brown.
This is 1% tolerance then. So, but that mainly tells you which way around to start reading the component. So you put that at the furthest edge,
The right side.
yeah, and what you'll have, depending on how many bands have you got on that resistor you're trying to read. in total. 4 bands in total.
I can't tell if they're black or blue.
Well, I'm going to show you. We're all going to have a meter in a minute and measure it anyway.
Right.
So, well, the first 2, if it's a 4-band one, will be the first 2 numbers of the value. So, if you've got...
I don't know who's phone.
Anyway. So what we're looking
Ask
for...
a quick question.
Go on.
So when you say further away,
It is a
it
pain in the
this?
arse and awkward, yes.
yeah,
Um,
on that one,
I
the
need the
brown one
magnifying.
would be further. The right
sadly,
side is
I'm
the
also going blind.
It's all well and good.
Yes. Is that brown or black? So that brown at the end, I reckon it's that way round.
Okay,
But we're going to measure it in a second anyway.
lovely.
Because-
Thank you.
Basically, the first 2 are the first 2 values of it. The third one here, that's the multiplier. So if you wanted 2 meg, that would obviously be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Is that? So that would, no, it's not. 0, 1, 2, 3. Right. So it will be a red. So it'll be a red first. That'll be red. Then there will be a 0 because it's a black. And then if you wanted meg, how many multipliers is that? That's going to be a yellow. Well, let's see, give me a second. So for 2 meg, let's go 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've got that many. You want 5. 5 remaining zeros. So that will be a green. That'll be green there. So it'll be red, black, green. Does that remotely look like a red, black, green?
You said it was red, black, blue, Dean, before.
Is that a 4 one?
That was a 2 meg, was red, black, blue.
There. I mean, my eyesight is going. So if you've got a multimeter, they're a 4-band one, are they? Well, that's why we want meters. So if you have a meter, you're looking for that symbol that looks like this. There we go. Symbol looks like this on the meter. There is one more meter who wants to play with the other meter.
And that's 2 meg.
There we go. That's where it goes, isn't it? Oh, wait, there we go. Please make the batteries work. Oh, look, it's flat. There's a...
Sod story.
Yes, we've only got one working meter. Great. So, that's the room I left.
Switch it to ohms.
I think I need a meter or anything else, but no, we've got, yes, another magnifying glass. So which is the component you had?
So this is
Alright.
red, black, black.
Right.
I think this is the other one that starts
That's-
with a red.
Red, right, so they're not 3-band parts, they're 4-band parts.
They are 4 bands.
So, what it'll be then, if they're 4-band parts, so no one's listening. 1, 2, 3. Let's have another picture of it again. Is that it?
Yep.
5, there we go.
5 band parts.
Right.
Right.
So, what you've got is that's the percentage tolerance, that's the multiplier, and then you've got 3 values. So for 2 meg, you're looking for the little resistor colour code that's there. So that'll be a 2 is red, isn't it? Right, so that'll be you're looking for 2. And then you want a couple of zeros, so there'll be blacks. Is black 0?
Red, black, black.
Black, black. So you've got 2, 1, 2, and then you need a multiplier to make it 2 meg. So that's our first 2, so you need 4. That 4 is yellow, does that sound right? Is yellow 4 on that little chart? So it will read red, black, black, yellow.
No, it's green now.
And then there'll be a percentage that doesn't matter. Right, there is... If we look at the little picture, see what else here. There will be other values on there with different colours, so you have to find red, black, black, yellow.
We've tested it and it measures 2 meg. That must. But this is green, not yellow. Yeah.
Is it? I can't see it. Let's have a look.
It's on a blue.
To be honest, they don't bother printing them right anymore because everyone measures them.
There's no yellow.
There is a yellow. That's
Might be
red,
green.
black, black, yellow with a brown as the tolerance.
Well, I see it as green.
Borrow, pass it, have a look through that one. It seems to be a good one.
It's yellow on blue, isn't it?
Yes, it's yellow on blue, so it's looking green. At least it's got somebody on the side. Right. I'm going to find it my own one. Right. It's yellow.
So we got
Should be 2 meg.
So,
red, black, yellow. There we go.
who needs help identifying their resistor?
You want to put your resistors in down. We're going to put them in.
Right, here we go. I shall keep careful hold of that as it's not mine.
So pass me one of the pins. Tell me which resistor it is.
Is it
Nah, my
going on
hands.
the green side and the pins stick
Yeah,
out
no.
on that side?
Right, yes, so the plain side, you get R2 2 meg,
Yeah.
bend the legs approximately to it, and poke it in the hole so it matches.
The green side and the right side.
Yeah, the light green side with the pictures on. Components go on the light green side with the pictures on. If it,
Bend it like this. And they don't have directions.
they don't have direction now. The light green
They
side.
don't, yeah.
So it pokes through and the legs come through. Is everyone watching? And the legs poke through on the side with the bits of metal on. Silk screen is component on that way. Legs come out. What is the bottom, which is the bit? Yeah, that's light green, dark green. So it goes in the light green, out the dark green. So then what you do is you hold your thumb and you bend the legs slightly so it doesn't fall out. Careful when bending the legs; it doesn't go across anything and cause solder bridges. So it's just enough to hold the part in.
Just a little bit of pull out on that.
Like that?
Yeah, that's it. So
How have you got the door so far down? Mine's bending a bit. It feels properly in there.
can't wait to get to the diodes. There. Has everyone got their first resistor in place? Let's have a look. There we go. That's good. Yeah. That's R2. Yes. So R2 is red, black, yellow, and a brown at the end for the percentage.
I think there's only one going around.
I think everyone's going a bit. Right, so let's do some soldering then. Now we've got the first part in. Right. Soldering iron, hot end, cold end. Sometimes you have a bit of brass stuff for cleaning the tip. That's a good scrubbing clean. Generally, you just use a little damp sponge just to clean it. If it's really manky, there's these little tins of soldering cleaner. It's sort of like flux and solder. You don't want to breathe that in, but that'll get your tip really clean. You won't need flux for this. There's usually flux in the solder, maybe even in that ancient solder you got there. This thin bendy wire is your solder. Generally a green spool means lead-free solder. The pink spool going round is leaded solder. For hobbyist use and small use, it doesn't matter which. Lead is generally the better solder. There was legislation that came out banning lead in solder, and the problem was lead-free solder isn't as reliable. So it was meant to stop lead going into the waste stream and get lead into the environment. All it did was make more things break and thus create more pollution. But it sets Europe for you. So anyway, right. Let's move this out of the way.
So they banned it?
Banned for mass production use, yeah, you're not allowed leaded solder.
Okay.
You can get some quite good unleaded stuff. I can't remember the brand. It's one of these brands, but it's a different mix. But it does eat away your soldering iron. So when you finish your soldering iron, you clean it off and you put some leaded on to make sure it doesn't ruin your soldering iron.
Yeah.
So get your board in show. What you're going to do.
Maybe put more light on what
Yeah.
you're doing. 'Cause,
Yes, right, you can see there. You're going to play. I'll come round and show you individually as well. You're going to place your soldering iron towards the one side of the leg. Hold for a few seconds. Then you're going to apply the solder on the other side. Remove the solder. Then remove the soldering iron. If you do it the other way round and you remove the soldering iron before you remove the solder, you have the board stuck to the end of your solder. So I will quickly do one. So apply the heat. Depending on the size of the joints, 1, 2, 3. Bit of solder, you'll see it melt. Tiny bit of solder. 1, 2, 3. Remove. If you do it the other way around, and you apply the heat the joints up, solder, and then you move it the other way around, you quite often end with the things stuck to the end of your board. The amount of solder you're aiming for, if you have your board there, your components sticking up there, what you're aiming for is the solder to form a slight curve on the joint.
So is that the wires sticking through?
That's the wire sticking through the board. You want to get just enough solder to form a little curve on each side. If you put too much on, or it doesn't get hot enough, you may end up with a joint with a blob of solder on the top of it. That won't hold very well, and you'll probably get it won't be connected properly to the board. And of course, if it's too skinny, you can always add a bit more later. So that's the first component done.
So we're
Right,
going to
I'll go around and I'll keep all this pen actually. Right, do you want to have a go with yours? I shall move my stuff aside.
I would love to.
Yes, I've kind of been hogging the limelight there.
No, you go
It's
ahead.
in a bit there, you've got the stuff. So I'm here most Tuesdays if you want to catch me for another Tuesday, you have to get these out of your way.
I would love to.
Yes. Right,
So
it's,
is it always like this?
no, it's something else. No, it's
Whatever it may be.
every Tuesday we have an open evening,
Those are exactly what you
and once a month we try and have an event. So it might be someone talking about AI, or it might be photography or something.
This is amazing. This is crazy stuff.
So, you want to sit down and give that a go? I'll talk about the solar suction in a bit. There you go. There's a work. This is Ursula's working example.
The original Winchester disc.
I know, it's very real. So we have the microphone, chip in, the LED, the transistor and everything. Yeah, Steve did most of the helping for this one.
The only thing I did was I put the chip in. I
Yeah.
showed Ursula where the things went. She did everything except put the chip in.
There you go. Well done. End of class.
End of class.
Yay. There you go. Have that back and I'll get some bug chicken on one.
That'll do as our